We're revisiting biscottis today in the Secret Kitchen, and this is one of my favorite recipes. These biscottis have cranberries, orange, and almonds in them. They're absolutely delicious. I mean, let me spin that around for the camera. Oh wait, this way. This way is even better. What do you think of that? They're beautiful. The whole kitchen smells like orange because they're packed with orange zest. So we're doing these today, and I think you're going to love them, and we're doing them right now. Welcome to Secret Kitchens of New Jersey, and today we're going to make biscotti, another version of biscotti. Today's version, I know that you really liked the previous one that we did. That was the cinnamon chocolate chip walnut. Yeah, that was great, but this is another great one. Today we're doing, we're using almonds and craisins and orange, so sort of like a cranberry, almond, orange, another really delicious combination. So let's get started. All of the measurements and directions are below, so if I don't tell you everything, that's why. But I am starting with 3 eggs, and I've got about, I think it's about a half a cup of neutral oil, and I'm using, I believe this is canola, a neutral oil here. And then we add our, I'm going to kind of get the yolks broken up a little. I'm going to add my sugar. This is a cup of sugar. And, this is not a time for brown sugar. We're using a white sugar here because these are going to be on the light side. So let's give these a good mix. And before we get them completely mixed, we're going to add some vanilla because vanilla elevates everything. About a teaspoon, like a nice splash. And in addition to vanilla, we're going to use a little bit of orange extract. And it's just that I happen to have this in the house. And because these are going to be somewhat orange forward, probably like a half a teaspoon. All right, now we're going to give this a really good mix. Okay. Nicely mixed, and I'll tell you right now, I really smell that orange. It smells great. All right, so let me prepare my dry ingredients. I've got all-purpose flour, and I'm looking at my notes because I don't want to forget something. So we're going to use a tablespoon of baking powder. That's a tablespoon. And if you're baking and you're using baking powder, all of these things, they do have an expiration date, so periodically check out what's going on in your pantry. And a little bit of salt, just a half a teaspoon of salt. And again, you know me, kosher salt, diamond crystal. Half a teaspoon of salt. Okay. Let's kind of mix up here, my little whisk. Let's mix this up. And you know what I'm going to do? I think before I even add my my dry ingredients to the wet, I want to also add some zest of an orange. And I didn't have any oranges, but I had these Tangelos. These are going to work just as well. So let me get this zested. You're going to get all those wonderful oils and the zest, all the flavor. It's going to be really delicious and totally elevates this. So between this and between the zest and the orange extract, you're going to get a lot of really good flavor. So I'm just going to get this zested. Okay, just about done, and full disclosure, I decided to zest the second one as well, just because I thought, why not? And this is not going to change your recipe. If you've got 1 orange, 1 large orange, 2 small oranges, you want to add a little more or less of the zest, it's not going to make any difference, seriously. All right, so let me give this another little bit of a mix here. And now we're going to add our dry ingredients. Okay. Flour goes in. You'll be a lot neater than me. Okay, it takes a few moments for this to come together. Just continue to mix. Wow, that orange, ooh, that smells good. All right, now I'll tell you what I'm going to do to make life easier. When I reach this point, you can see it's not totally mixed yet, but I'm going to get in there with my hands and do it, finish it off that way, mixing it with my hands. It's just going to be a little bit easier. And I'm going to wear a glove just because I don't want to get this all over my ring. Okay, so I'm just going to get in here and finish mixing it up. And this makes it go a lot faster. Oh God, you keep it all in the bowl, unlike me. Okay, you can see it's really coming together now. Okay, so I'm happy with the way this is, but we still have a few more things to add. So I've got about a cup of almonds. These are, I roughly chop them. I just think it makes it a little bit easier. A cup of almonds. And I told you this is cranberry almonds. So this is a cup of craisins. And again, what I did, you don't have to, but you know, they felt so stiff to me. So I hydrated them for about 15 minutes. Right in here, I poured some hot water on there and I just let them sit. They softened up nicely. And I just think it's going to be nicer in the biscotti. All right, so here I am with my glove on, giving this a final mix, getting all these add-ins in here. Okay. So remember, biscotti means twice baked. So we're going to get this in the oven, and then we're going to bake it for 35 minutes. We're going to let it cool, and we'll get it back. We'll bake it a second time. All right, I'm good with this. So here's the next step. Okay, my oven's been preheating to 375. All right, so let me show you the next step. Give me a moment to regroup. All right, here's my next step. My dough is all mixed up, and I'm going to put it on my floured board. And let me get a spatula. All right, to get it out of here. We're going to divide this dough into two. And right now the dough it's nice. It's fairly stiff. It's easier to work with. I'm just wearing the gloves just because I'm trying to keep my hands clean, frankly. All right, let's get everything out. All right, here's how we do this. Okay, we're gonna form it into whatever you want to call this shape. Take my knife, cut this in half. You know what's really nice? I see the flecks of orange from the zest running through this. Really, it's going to be beautiful. Okay, then I've got my sheet pan with a piece of parchment paper on it. And I'm going to take these one at a time and just kind of roll them into a log. It's not an exact science, don't worry about that. Put one here. Do the same here with this one. Whoops. It's very easy to work with. Put that there. Here's what we do. Let's just kind of press these into a little bit of a better position. Flatten them out till they're about 1/2 inch. Okay. Kind of like to square off my edges. Hey, if they're not the exact same size, you know, it's no big deal. No big deal. It's all going to come out wonderfully in the end. And these are, somehow I never cut them exactly the same. Okay, here's what I got. So next step is these are going into the oven for 25 to 30 minutes. I'll check them at 25 minutes and I'll show you what they look like when they're done, okay? What do you think? These look beautiful. Oh, if you could be in this kitchen, the secret kitchen is smelling so beautiful. Fragrant from the orange, it's wonderful. All right, so these were in the oven for, I'm gonna say about 28 minutes, and I took them out. You have to let them cool for a little bit. They've been cooling for about 10 minutes because if they're too hot to handle, you're not going to be able to cut them up. And I also lowered the temperature of my oven to 350. We originally baked these at 375, lowering the oven a little bit. Okay, let me get these on my cutting board. And just because I feel like it, I'm going to cut them this way today. So I always cut off the end because you know what? Cook's treat for later. But you know what? All right, so let's just cut these up. Again, you cut them whatever size you want them to be, making these kind of on about 3/4 of an inch. And then what we're going to do is we're going to lay them out back on the sheet pan. And then we're going to get these back in the oven. And this time they're going to go for, oh, this one got a little damaged, so, you know, we'll have to eat it. The second baking, I would check it in 20 minutes. You can even let it go as long as a half an hour, depending on how crispy you want your biscottis to get. I do like them on the crispy side. But you know what? I just want you to see what these look like already. You can actually see the orange zest in here. They smell wonderful. They look great. Got lots of almonds in there, lots of craisins. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and get everything cut up, put them back on the sheet pan, return them to the oven for roughly, I'm going to say 15, 20-ish minutes, and we'll see what they look like when they're done. Here they are. They're done. They smell wonderful. They look great. They're still a little bit warm, so I have them on the cooling rack. So these were in the oven for the second baking, roughly 20 minutes. I like them to be more on the crispy side, so I left them in a little bit longer. But that's up to you, completely up to you. Let's have one because these are just, really good. You really get the orange. I mean, I can see all the orange zest throughout. So much flavor in there. Not super sweet, which is the way I like them. And boy, would these be great with a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or if you get up at 2 in the morning. All good. Cranberry orange almond biscotti. Give it a try. And let me know if you want me to make some other versions of biscotti too. We love it. Please like and subscribe. We need the inspiration. We'll see you next time on Secret Kitchens of New Jersey. Bye, everyone.